Hi friends, and welcome to our cozy English story series. If you're learning English, you're in the right place. This story is made just for you with simple language, clear emotions, and a warm, friendly feeling. Today, we start a new story called Don't Be Afraid to Try. So grab a cup of tea, get comfy, and let's begin. The sky was soft and blue, and a gentle breeze danced through the little town of Willowbrook. It was the kind of town where people smiled at each other in the streets and knew each other's names. In a small yellow house on Maple Lane lived a quiet girl named Mira. Mira was 17. She had long brown hair, bright eyes full of dreams, and a heart that beat fast every time she thought about singing. Yes, Mira loved to sing. She sang when she did her homework, when she cooked with her grandmother, and sometimes even when she was sad. But no one outside her house had ever heard her voice. Why? Because Mira was shy. Very shy. Whenever someone asked her to sing in front of others, Mira would smile nervously and shake her head. Her stomach would twist, and her hands would turn cold. What if they laugh? She would think. What if I make a mistake? Her grandmother, Nani, was the only person who truly knew Mira's heart. Nani was full of warmth, with silver hair and soft eyes that always made you feel safe. One evening, as the sun dipped below the trees, Nani sat beside Mira on the porch swing. "You have a gift, my Mira," Nani said, gently patting her hand. "Why are you hiding it?" Mira looked down at her hands. "What if I'm not good enough, Nani? What if I fail?" Nani smiled. "You'll never know unless you try. Being brave doesn't mean you're not scared. It means you do it even though you're scared." Mira was quiet. Her heart beat faster. Later that night, Mira sat in her room with her old guitar on her lap. She strummed the strings softly and sang a song she had written just for herself. Her voice was quiet but full of feeling. The words spoke of dreams, of fears, and of hope. As she sang, a small tear rolled down her cheek, not from sadness, but from something deep inside, a spark of courage. The next day at school, a flyer on the wall caught Mira's eye. "Willowbrook Talent Show, this Saturday night. Sign up by Thursday." Her heart skipped a beat. Her hands trembled. Could she do it? She walked past it quickly. No, she couldn't. But all day, the words stayed in her mind. That night, she told Nani about it. "Do you want to sign up?" Nani asked, handing her a cup of warm tea. "I don't know," Mira whispered. "You don't have to be perfect, Mira," Nani said kindly. "You just have to try." Mira looked out the window. The moon was full. The stars were bright. She thought about the song in her notebook, the one she had written from her heart. Maybe, just maybe, she could do this. She picked up a pen. Her hands still shook, but this time, she didn't stop them. She signed the form. The next morning, Mira woke up early. The sky outside her window was still a little gray, and the birds were just starting to sing. She lay in bed for a moment, staring at the ceiling, holding one thought in her heart. "I signed up." Her fingers tingled. Her stomach felt like it was full of butterflies. She had done something brave. But now what? At breakfast, Nani poured her a cup of warm tea and smiled. "So, what's your plan?" Mira blinked. "My plan?" "Yes, dear," Nani said. "You're going to sing in front of people for the first time. You need to practice." Mira nodded slowly. She picked up her toast, but she wasn't really hungry. Her thoughts were spinning like a fast wind. What if she forgot the words? What if her voice cracked? What if people stared? She spent the whole day thinking about the talent show. At school, the other students were talking about who was performing. Mira didn't tell anyone she had signed up. She couldn't. Not yet. That afternoon, she went straight to her room and closed the door. She picked up her guitar, sat on the floor, and opened her songbook. "Okay," she whispered to herself. "One verse. Just try one verse." She played the first chord. Her fingers were stiff, but they remembered the tune. She sang softly. "There's a light inside me, even when I'm scared. A voice that whispers gently, 'I'll be with you there.'" She stopped. Her voice had shaken a little, but she had done it. She had started. Each day after school, Mira practiced in her room. She tried singing louder. She worked on standing tall, even when her knees felt weak. Nani helped her too. Sometimes she sat and listened, always smiling. "You're growing," Nani said one evening, "like a flower opening to the sun." But not everyone was so kind. On Thursday, just one day before the show, Mira accidentally dropped her songbook at school. A boy named Logan picked it up. "What's this?" he asked, flipping through it. "You write songs?" Mira reached for the book, her face burning. "Give it back, please." Logan laughed. "Relax. I didn't know you sang. You're always so quiet." Mira grabbed the book and walked away, her heart pounding. That night, she sat on her bed, staring at her songbook. Her voice felt small again. Maybe she wasn't ready. Maybe she had made a mistake. But then Nani knocked on the door. She came in holding something, a little necklace with a tiny silver star. "This was mine when I was your age," Nani said, placing it in Mira's hand. "When I had to speak in front of people, and I was shaking like a leaf." "You were scared too?" Mira asked. Nani smiled. "Very. But I did it anyway." Mira looked at the star. It was warm from Nani's hand. She closed her fingers around it and nodded. "I want to try," she said softly. Nani kissed her forehead. "That's my brave girl." The day of the talent show arrived with golden sunlight and cool spring air. Mira stood in front of her closet, heart pounding. Clothes were scattered on her bedjeans, dresses, sweaters. None of them felt right. Nani peeked into the room. "Need help choosing?" she asked gently. Mira nodded. "I want to look like myself, but also brave." Nani smiled. "Then wear what makes you feel strong." In the end, Mira chose a soft blue dress, the color of the sky just before night. She slipped on her star necklace, took a deep breath, and looked at herself in the mirror. She didn't feel completely brave, but she looked ready. At the school auditorium, the halls were buzzing with excitement. Performers stood in small groups, tuning guitars, stretching, and whispering nervous jokes. Mira found a quiet corner backstage and sat with her guitar on her lap. Her name was listed 6th. The first performer sang a pop song and got loud cheers. The second did a funny dance. The third juggled oranges and almost dropped one. Everyone clapped and laughed. Mira's hands were shaking. "Deep breaths," she whispered to herself. "Just try." Then she heard her name. Next up, Mira Patel. The spotlight hit the stage. The crowd was clapping. Mira's feet felt heavy as she walked out, holding her guitar tight. Her heart thudded like a drum in her chest. She sat on the stool. Her fingers touched the strings. She looked out and saw for so many faces. For one moment, she wanted to run, but then she felt the star necklace against her skin. She remembered Nani's voice. "You don't have to be perfect. You just have to try." She closed her eyes, strummed the first chord, and then she sang. "There's a light inside me, even when I'm scared." Her voice started soft, almost shaking, but as she kept going, it grew stronger. Her song told a story of a girl with a quiet voice, finding the courage to speak. A girl learning that fear is not the end. It's the beginning. "I was hiding in silence, afraid I might fall, but now I am singing. I'm giving my all." The room was completely still. No one moved. No one spoke. When she finished, there was a moment of silence. And then applause. Loud, bright, full applause. Mira blinked, stunned. People were standing. Some were cheering. And in the back row, Nani stood clapping, her eyes full of tears and joy. Mira smiled. Her hands still shook, but her heart was full of something warm and new. Pride. As she walked off the stage, a girl from her class stopped her. "That was beautiful," she said. "I didn't know you could sing like that." Mira blushed. "I didn't know either, until I tried." The night after the talent show, Mira couldn't sleep. She lay in bed, staring at the ceiling, her heart still dancing with emotion. She had done it. She had stood in front of a crowd. She had sung her own song, and the crowd had clapped. Not just politely, but loudly, kindly, beautifully. Her phone buzzed on the nightstand. A new message. Mira, your song was amazing. I cried a little. Thank you for being brave. Emma from science class. More messages followed. Your voice is beautiful. I didn't know you could sing like that. Please post the song online. Mira smiled softly. The fear was still there, somewhere deep inside. But tonight, something was louder than the fear, the joy of being heard. The next morning at school, Mira walked through the hallways feeling different. People smiled at her. Some waved. A few even stopped to talk. Mira, that song. It was so real, one boy said. You should sing at the Spring Festival next month. Me? She said, surprised. Definitely. You'd be perfect. Later, in English class, her teacher paused while handing back papers. You have a gift, Mira, she said. I hope you keep using it. Mira didn't know what to say. Her cheeks turned pink, and she looked down at her desk. She wasn't used to being seen. After school, she walked home with a bounce in her step. The breeze felt soft. The sky looked brighter. Everything felt a little more alive. Nani was in the kitchen, rolling dough for chapati when Mira came in. Hello, superstar, she said with a grin. Mira laughed and hugged her. I was so scared, but I did it. I know, Nani said, patting her back. And now you know you can do it too. They cooked together, the warm smell of spices filling the air. As they worked, Mira told Nani about the kind messages, the smiles, and the way her voice had surprised even herself. I feel like something opened inside me, she said. Nani nodded. When you try, you grow. Even if it's just a little, even if it's hard. That evening, Mira sat by the window with her guitar and opened her songbook. She flipped past old songs and came to a blank page. She picked up her pen and began to write. Yesterday I was quiet, hiding from the sky, but now I've found my courage. I gave my voice a try. The words flowed easily. She didn't stop to worry if they were perfect. She just let them come. Outside the window, a star blinked in the evening sky. Inside her chest, her heart felt light. The week after the talent show, Mira felt like the world had opened up. Not because everything was easy now, she still got nervous sometimes, but because she had done something scary, and the sky didn't fall. One afternoon, as she sat by the window writing a new song, her phone buzzed. It was a message from her classmate, Emma. Hey, Mira. Did you think about posting your song online? I think a lot of people would love it. Mira stared at the message. Post it online? The idea made her heart jump. Singing at the talent show had been hard enough, but posting it on the internet, where anyone could see it? That felt huge. But then she remembered the quiet girl, who had once been too scared to sing at all. That girl had changed, little by little, and she wasn't alone anymore. She opened her voice recorder app, took a deep breath, picked up her guitar. The room was silent except for the ticking of the clock and the gentle breeze from the window. Mira pressed record. Her hands were steady now. There's a light inside me, even when I'm scared. She sang the whole song, just like she had at the talent show, except this time, she smiled more. She didn't worry about being perfect. She just sang from the heart. When she finished, she saved the file. She stared at the screen for a long time. Then, she uploaded it. The next morning, Mira almost forgot she had posted the song. She went through her day like normal, brushing her teeth, packing her school bag, eating toast with jam. But by lunchtime, everything changed. Emma ran up to her in the hallway. Mira, did you check your video? Mira blinked. No, why? You have over 1,000 views, Emma said, eyes wide. And people are commenting like, a lot. Mira opened the app with shaking hands. It was true. The video had been shared, liked, commented on. This song made me cry. Thank you. Your voice is so pure. I've been too scared to sing, but now I want to try. Mira couldn't believe it. Her song, something that had once been locked inside her heart, was now out in the world. And people were listening. People were feeling something because of her. That night, Mira sat on the porch with Nani, wrapped in a soft blanket, looking up at the stars. I can't believe so many people heard my voice, she said quietly. I can, Nani replied, squeezing her hand. But I was always so afraid. Nani nodded. Fear is part of life, Mira. It shows up whenever we do something that matters. But you didn't let it stop you. Mira rested her head on Nani's shoulder. I think I want to keep going, she whispered. Keep singing. Keep sharing. Nani smiled. Then, that's exactly what you should do. Spring arrived fully, wrapping the town in green leaves and soft sunlight. Birds chirped in the mornings, and the breeze smelled like fresh blossoms. Mira sat at her desk, her guitar resting against her chair, her notebook open. It had been 2 weeks since she posted her song online. The video had now reached 5,000 views. Sometimes she still couldn't believe it. People were still sending messages, from different cities, even different countries. One message said, I'm learning English, and your song helped me feel brave. Thank you. Another said, I shared your song with my little sister. She's shy like you, but now she wants to sing too. Mira smiled every time she read these words. Her voice had traveled farther than she ever dreamed. One afternoon, her teacher made an announcement in class. The Spring Festival is coming next weekend. We're inviting students to lead a performance. Music, poetry, anything creative. If you're interested, let me know. All eyes turned to Mira. She felt her cheeks warm. But this time, it wasn't fear. It was possibility. She raised her hand. I'd like to sing, she said. Her teacher beamed. We'd love that, Mira. On the day of the festival, the schoolyard was full of color. Families brought picnic blankets. Kids played games. Booths were set up with food, crafts, and lemonade. Mira stood near the stage, holding her guitar. This time, she wasn't alone backstage. Emma was there, and a few other students who had started writing music too because they had been inspired by Mira's bravery. Ready? Emma asked. Mira nodded. I think I am. She stepped onto the stage, looked out at the smiling faces, and took a deep breath. Her hands were calm. Her heart felt strong. She sang a new song, one she had written just a few days before. Every voice begins as quiet. Every dream begins unsure. But one small step, one soft whisper, can become something pure. The crowd listened closely, just like before. But this time, Mira wasn't singing to prove she could. She was singing to share something hope. After the festival, Mira sat with Nani under a cherry tree, sipping lemonade. I think I want to keep writing songs, she said. Maybe even post more videos. Nani smiled. I think the world is ready to listen. Mira looked up at the sky, feeling the sunlight on her face. She was still learning, still growing, but now, she wasn't afraid to try. YouTube-style cozy closing message for English learners. And that, my dear friends, is the end of Mira's story, but it can be the beginning of yours. If you've ever felt nervous to try something new like learning English, speaking out loud, or sharing your creativity, remember Mira. She started small. She was scared. But she took one brave step. And so can you. Thank you so much for reading Don't Be Afraid to Try with us. We hope this story helped you feel comforted, inspired, and supported in your English learning journey.